Hey everybody, Brian here. It's been 6.5 months on testosterone. Wow, that's exciting. So yeah, testosterone update. Let's see. I didn't mention this last time, but I should have. I have to shave now. It's awesome. Um, Before I was shaving like every once in a while when I thought about it, because I liked thinking that I needed to shave, but I didn't actually need to shave, and I knew that. I lopsided because I've been getting backpack all day. But now, if I don't shave after a week, my chin feels really gross. And I noticed this when I was visiting my relatives, my mom's, because I didn't shave, and I didn't bring my razor because I didn't think I really needed it. And by the end of the week, it's like, I'm excited to go home and shave. I need a shave. I'm definitely not growing out a beard anytime soon, because it's like not very thick. So it's like one hair, one hair, one hair, one hair, one hair. It looks terrible. But I need to shave, so that's exciting. My period was 2 weeks late, which is also awesome. It was lighter than like a normal period, but still not as light as it has been. It used to be like the past couple of times it's been almost non-existent. This time I actually got a period, so that kind of stuff, but it's late, so progress. Yeah. Another thing that I haven't really mentioned, but that was bothering me for a while, was I used to do this like faux whistle kind of thing, where I would like, go hoo hoo hoo, and when I used to do it, it sounded like a whistle, like sort of high pitched. It wasn't really a whistle, but it was sort of like a whistle. Now, it doesn't sound like a whistle at all, if you notice. And at first, that was one thing that was really jarring to me. But now it's like sort of settled. At first, it was just like nothing, no noise is coming out, and it was weird. Now it's deep, and it's different, but it's fine, and I'm fine with that. And overall, the fact that my voice is deeper is amazing. I feel happy thanking the bus driver, for example, which is one of the things that I used to hate doing because I look male and then I speak and I don't sound at all male, and now I do, so that's amazing. So yeah, that's that. Moving right along to the question of the week. Last weekend, my dad asked me, have you changed your gender markers on your birth certificate or your driver's license or your passport? And the answer to this short answer is no. And the long answer is a couple of parts. The first part is, how do you change your gender markers? So like changing a name, how to change gender markers varies from state to state. Unlike changing a name, it's based off of the state where you were born. Luckily for me, those two states are the same, and also luckily for me, I was born in Washington State, which is super liberal. So in Washington State, all you currently have to do is get a notarized document saying you're changing your gender, and give it to the appropriate people. You don't need to go to therapy, you don't need to go to a doctor, you don't need any surgery or any therapy or anything. All you need is this notarized document. And this is a very new thing. This just kind of got slipped in kind of subtly in January and February of this year. The health department, I forget exactly which name this particular health department has, but if it's within their purview and there's no significant public comment after posting an announcement, they're allowed to just change this. And so they did. And it's no taking it to the legislature or anything, just settle it under the radar. Oh yeah, this is now super easy. They even added a third gender option, so you can have M, F, or X. Now this is super new, so they don't really know what will happen if you take this X gender designation on your birth certificate to go get your passport renewed. I imagine that'll happen soon, and we'll see. So yeah, it's super easy here. I'm sure that I know people who were born in other states. So the reason I found out about this is actually because of a court case in Idaho. So a federal court case between the state of Idaho and two transgender women, Danny Martin and somebody who was identified only as FB. So in the case of them versus the state of Idaho, in federal court determined that Idaho was constitutionally required to allow transgender people to change the gender markers on their birth certificate, and that to do otherwise was categorically unconstitutional, and that it violated the entire purpose of gender documentation. So yeah, even if you're in Texas, Texas has a policy for changing gender markers. Idaho is now required to have a policy for changing gender markers. They have decided, or well, they're required to by April 6th. So yes, they do. Texas has one. The only states, as of this news article when the ruling was first made, the only states that do not have an explicit policy for addressing this are Idaho, Ohio, Tennessee, Kansas, and not actually a state, but a territory, Puerto Rico. That's it. So changing gender markers, if you're born in the United States, is definitely possible. Unless you're born in one of those three states and something really weird happens. Idaho has decided not to challenge this ruling by federal courts. It's not going to go to like the Supreme Court. It was decided by one of the lower federal courts. So that's the answer to how to change your gender markers. It varies by state. In Washington State, it's super easy. Every state should have such a policy, if not now, soon. So why haven't I changed my gender markers? I personally haven't changed my gender markers because I find it more validating when people are surprised by my gender marker saying F than I would be if they realized that it was weird that my gender marker said N. So I currently have a female anatomy. I still have all the bits I was born with, and I'm not changing those in the near future. Not super near future. I'm probably going to consider top surgery at some point. But I haven't done anything yet. And the only cases where gender marker really comes up are also places where, like, people know what I look like naked. By which I mean airport security. That's the number one place that a gender marker comes up. Like, if I go to a bar, I usually don't, I don't go to bars very much, I don't drink that much, and people don't care that much about the ID, just about, as long as it looks like you and the date's right. So that's not a concern. I'm not worried that I'll be outed going to a bar. The only other place is like airport security, where they check an ID, and then they have a scanner. And the scanner knows that I have biological female parts. And if somebody looks at me and the gender marker says F, and they think I look female, well, that's unfortunate, but whatever. If the gender marker says F, and they think I'm male, and they do a bit of a double take, to me that's validating, because I know that they were surprised, and that their initial reaction was that I was male. And other than that, that's fine. I'm not, like, internally offended by the fact that maybe a girl would give me a pat down at the airport as opposed to a boy. Like, I don't care. What I would really, really hate is if I was going through TSA and they saw my gender marker as M, and they didn't realize how easy it was to change gender markers in Washington State, and they looked at how I look in the scanner, and they're like, oh, trans woman who hasn't gotten her gender markers changed. That would just ruin my entire day, just beyond the whole fact that plane travel inevitably sucks anyway. that would be terrible. So why would that be terrible? I came up with this analogy when I was talking to my friend Adi of making a cake. People make really healthy cakes. People make really delicious cakes. I personally have a very healthy mom who taught me how to make really healthy cakes. If I was trying to make a super delicious cake and I shared it with my friends and their initial reaction was, oh, this is like a really healthy cake, and they told me that, I'd be a little bit offended because I know it's a healthy cake. I know what ingredients I put in. It's a cake, so it's not that healthy, and that wasn't my goal. If I was trying to make a healthy cake and said it tasted like it was a really healthy cake, then awesome, but that's not my goal, so it's not a good compliment. Same thing with gender markers. Women are amazing. If somebody told me, like, you program as well as a woman, that would be a good compliment. But you are a woman, not a great compliment, because that's not what I'm trying for. Or you look like a woman. That's not what I'm trying for. If I was trying for that and you said that, then that'd be a great compliment. But that's totally not the point. So yeah, that's why I haven't changed it, my gender markers. Yeah, I feel like the situations where my gender markers on my birth certificate and driver's license and passport would come up would be situations where people would know what my biology was, and that ultimately having my gender markers say male would make it more likely that I felt like I was being misgendered than I currently feel when it says female. Once I have a flat chest, or I'm obviously passing all the time, I will probably change my gender marker to male, but I'm not in a rush to do that. So yeah, that's the video. Bye!